This is from Ian Hart. It's really interesting. Offenses that used way less play action in Week 1 than they did in 2023. Top one, the Falcons, minus 30%. Titans, minus 16. Bucks and Raiders, minus 12. And the Browns, minus 11%. And again, that's kind of an indication that they may be going to a different offense. But again, it was all over the place. I defy somebody to watch that and tell me exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of things, and they're still trying to find their way through. For me, that's a lot of this stuff should have been worked out in meeting rooms, and you have to have a fluency, and you got to form an identity. And I can safely say I have no idea what this offense is at this point. I don't think anyone could, So they have to find their way, And it's unfortunate that we're doing this in the regular season. These are all things that had to be worked out by the time you got to this point. These games mean too much to kind of be using them as feelers, but I think that there's no other choice at this point. I don't. How much of the playbook have we not seen? How much are they holding back? We don't know because it definitely didn't. It looked disjointed. It looked clunky. And those are some of the reports we were hearing coming out of the second half of training camp from the Minnesota joint practices on. These are kind of the things we're hearing, and we saw it manifest. You play how you practice, and unfortunately, it's disjointed at this point.
Let's hope there's a lot of the playbook we haven't seen yet. If not, it could be a really long football season. All right, Week 1 offensive explosive play percentage. That's defined as 10 plus rush yards, 20 plus pass yards. And the graph, Jaguars are 1. That's who we play. 15% of the plays. Vikings, 14.8. Packers, 3. Browns at 29th, 3.9%. Ahead of only the Bears, Commanders, and Panthers. Those are guys with first and second year quarterbacks. That is not where you want to be, and that is not what this offense was supposed to be.
It is the most expensive offense in the NFL. You cannot be in that subset of teams. You have to be fighting for that upper quartile. That's, to me, that's the bare minimum. Unfortunately, I think it's going to take a while to get there. And it's crazy when you watch a performance like that to think there's probably going to be a game at some point this season and they score over 30 points, and it's like you can't even imagine how they get there at this point, But it's going to have to evolve. They're going to have to stack things. They're going to have to get comfortable with concepts and figure out who they're going to be. And some things will change. You get Nick Chubb back, and if he's Nick Chubb, obviously that'll change a lot of things. But until then, until the cavalry gets here and you get better offensive line play and all these things that come together, you got to piece it together. You have to figure out a way. You have to manufacture points by any means necessary. And, you need to be more explosive. You have too many playmakers on this team to not have explosive plays on a regular basis. If you look at the teams, there are several teams above you that don't have half the roster you do offensively. So you got to figure it out, and you have to do that now.